Right, this young horse now, he's literally just come off the float, been saddled, and we're about to give him a little lunge. Now, this horse has been broken in. He's probably had about 2 weeks of constant riding. However, he hasn't been ridden since we broke him in as a 2-year-old, has not been ridden for a few months. So please, what you see is what you get here, and I'm just going to show you, he may buck, he may not. Obviously, the first thing you want to do is, I always lunge them without a bridle to start with and let them just get any whiskers off them, and then we go on and start to get a bit serious. Okay. Looks quiet, doesn't he? He may well be. We'll see when he gets into the trot. My back cinch is quite snug. The girth is done up firmly but not overly tight. The breast plate is fitting well. He's not looking worried. This is only a small round yard, so we're not going to do too much cantering in here. But what I do in the canter is, in the round yard, I will kiss them to canter. That is my aid. And when you are breaking one in, that helps when you start to pick up their canter departure. Okay, now he's just united behind. I don't like that. Back to trot. And I'll ask again. Okay, pick it up there is correct. And I use verbal. Trot. Trot. And I do it on their back. The young horses as well. So it's a trot, and it's a kiss to canter. Yep. And trot, 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 and woo. When I stop them, I like them to look at me, keep their attention on me. So I want him looking at me with his hip away from me. So that will then make it easier for him to turn the other way. Now I haven't asked him to lope. Trot. 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 Lots of ways to do this. This is just my way. Good boy. Hip away, body facing. Good boy. Okay, before we start, we've lunged him for about 5 minutes. I do time my lunging. I like to do 5 minutes each way. I'm not a great fan of lunging per se. I do agree you do need to lunge your horse, and we do every single time before we ride them. If it's 2 minutes each side, that's enough. Young horses, we will give them probably 5 minutes each way, or until we feel the horse is safe to get up on. We're older people, so we really need to be aware and watch the horses to make sure that we're going to be safe as much as possible with the horse, obviously. So, you know, lunging at shows, before your show, you can lunge. I'm not an advocate of lunging for hours and hours until the horse is just exhausted. I think you end up with endurance horses. because you lunge for half an hour this time, next time it's an hour. They get fitter and fitter. You don't want an endurance horse. So I do like my horses a little bit unfit for this work, for ranch riding work. Not if you're doing cattle work, they need to be fit or they'll hurt. The same, you know, they need to be reasonably fit, but not to the point that they're being worked all the time. So just keep that in mind. Now, getting back to this, the snaffle, I just use a loose ring jointed snaffle, and I use a lip strap underneath, and it is always in front of the reins. So don't ever put your lip strap above the top of the reins. It's always under your reins. And all that is so that if you pull one side and the horse opens his mouth, the bit isn't going to slide through his mouth sideways. The strap just stops that. There's another bit called an FM snaffle. It's got the bars at the side. It has the same effect. The bars will stop the snaffle from sliding through the mouth. Again, throat latch, not too tight. I like to put 4 fingers here. When the horse flexes, he needs room to move. Also, go to the front of your bridle. Make sure it's fitting. Brow band's even and your straps are even both sides. So if it's 4 holes here, should be 4 holes there. Okay? Eliminate any problems before you start, particularly with young horses. It's so important. Right, so we're about to do the first mounting here. Not the first time this horse has been ridden, but just bringing him up to the mounting block. So what I do always to start with, I just bring him parallel to the block, let him know we're here, pull the block to where I'm comfortable. Again, we're older people, we need a lift up. We can't do it from the ground. So this is more targeted toward middle-aged people or people with hip problems, whatever, to get on your horse. He may move, he may not. And he did wonderful. Now, you may notice I shorten my inside rein just to start with. Because if you leave both reins loose, he gets a fright as you're getting on. He can take off, there's an accident. So always shorten your inside rein so you can at least take him to the inside if he goes to get a fright or anything like that. Now, he moved backwards. I don't like that particularly. Not going to pick on it at this stage. He's just getting his balance. That's fine. And I like the way he's just standing 4-legged and waiting for my aid. I like that. He has had a little bit of, like I said, he's had, you know, probably, I don't know, 14, 20 rides maybe. But he's naturally a fairly laid-back dude, but don't get caught. They're the ones that can get you hurt because you don't know. You take them for granted, next thing you've got a wreck. When I walk him off, just because I'm going to walk him I'm going to untrack him. I'm not going to walk him in a straight line. I'm going to untrack him. And that way, if he's going to buck, I've still got him on a bend. Alright? So far, so good. I'm just going to move him up a little bit. My stirrups are a little bit short. I don't normally ride this length, but for young ones I keep them a little bit shorter. So I'm just going to bend him around, hand out wide, and a little bit of leg to keep him moving forward. Take him the other way, hand out wide. They've got peripheral vision, they can see your hand. Just helps a little bit with that. And right now I'm just bumping him with both my legs at this stage, just to keep him walking. don't let them be too lazy. Like, he's pretty lazy, feels pretty dull. So I'm just going to keep legging him up a little bit. Then I'm going to test my brakes. Steering and brakes, very important. Voice, ooh. Body weight, hands, back up a couple of steps. Okay? I'm going to do it again. Ooh. Hands. And I sit my body weight back before I use my hands. Ooh. Again, with young horses, repeat, repeat, repeat. Not to the point where you drill them till they're senseless, but just to reinforce the exercise so they become comfortable with it. And I don't wear spurs. When I'm riding a young horse for the first couple of times, again, put it down to age, put it down to safety. I don't use spurs to start with. This horse will need spurs shortly, but not right now. Okay, so we're just walking around. I'm every now and then with this young horse. He knows how to move off leg. He knows how to give his space. So we're going to talk about breaking down resistance. Resistance is in the hand or in the leg or in the body. So I'm just going to check these out and make sure it's all good. Now you might see this little horse gapping a little bit. He needs his teeth doing. That's something he does need doing, and he could have caps. He's only just turned 3. But don't get paranoid. Don't start putting drop nose bands and everything to try and keep his mouth shut. Whatever you do, it will stop. It will stop. Okay, so I'm going to kick him up into the trot. And right now, all I want him to do is just follow the round yard. Now, if he deviates like this, I'll just lead him back. Don't try getting too tricky and try too much fancy stuff. Just lead him back over to the edge.